Hey guys, thanks so much for being here with me. I have pre-cleansed for the sake of time and also pre-pulled from the Zodiac deck, and I pulled a Virgo. So this will be a Virgo reading if you've got Virgo in your chart. And also the number 6. I'm about to pull some charms as well. Remember to take what resonates and use your own discernment. Okay, so we've got a black bow, ladybug with 6 spots. So I got 6 on the Virgo card and 6 on ladybug. A frog and the number 1. Okay, some sort of death here, but also a lot of good fortune, forward movement. You get frog 1 kind of leaping into the verse towards the finish line, towards the goal. Okay, let's see what else comes out. What do we have for Virgo spirit? I'm getting that you maybe in the morning. I'm sorry if that's the case. For Virgo spirit. Yeah. You kind of retreated or deep, kind of introspective, lost in thought. You had to kind of fight your way out of this, but you have the 10 of Cups here, so it is here for you. Let's see what else. What else for Virgo spirit? Home base is very important to you. Lotuses could be significant. So you're a wanderer. Maybe you like to travel, explore. But you felt kind of stuck in a maze or lost. Okay. Let's pull from the shadow deck. What do we have here for Virgo spirit? The performer. Righteous rage. Unspoken truth. Comparison trap. Rage suppressed. Okay, so we've got 2 with rage here. Self-delusion. Closed heart and fear of failure. You have a lot going on here, Virgo. Oh my goodness. Okay. So let's talk about this rage, because this came up twice. We'll start here. So you may not call it rage or even anger, but that's what it is. Your anger is building up and kind of wants to roar. You have mood swings. You might call it stress or irritation. And some of this anger is valid, and sacred. But some of it could be self-sabotage. So some things to ask yourself when you're feeling this, coming up is this expression or eruption? Are you reacting and erupting, or are you expressing yourself in a healthy way? And maybe think about, who or what, taught you that your anger wasn't valid, that you had to suppress it if that's the case. And telling yourself, my anger is sacred, I release it with power and purpose. Another good affirmation for you is I channel my fire into truth, not destruction. Okay, so attempting to channel this rage into something positive. Confirmation call. So that's what Spirit wants you to do. You've got a lot of suppressed rage, and you do have some righteous rage in there. But you need to learn to discern between the two. You also got the performer here. So maybe you're not being authentic in some aspect of your life. You learned that being entertaining or being funny or whatever the case may be earns you more attention or love. So maybe you sit down and really ask yourself or think about, who are you when you're not trying to be liked, maybe when you're not being watched. So whether this is online or in person, this came up in a reading yesterday as well, so you might want to check that one out. So an affirmation for that is, I am worthy in my stillness, not just in my sparkle. I like that one. So we also got unspoken truth, self-delusion, closed heart, comparison trap, and fear of failure. So you can kind of hear just from those how they're kind of intertwined, especially with this rage. So the unspoken truth is really standing out to me because, again, this is you kind of trying to keep the peace, swallowing your truth just like you swallowed some of your rage. But you're starting to choke on that rage and on that silence. So what is it that you're afraid to voice is what you need to ask yourself. And tell yourself, my truth deserves to come out. It deserves air, safe to speak. And that goes right along with this self-delusion. You're lying to yourself because the truth would require action on your part. So what is it that you're pretending not to know? So a good affirmation for you would be, I face myself with fierce honesty and loving courage. And that makes sense why you have the closed heart showing up here. So you just built up these walls, and this is very common with earth signs, especially Virgo. You build up walls to survive, but you're ready now. This fortress you built, that's getting lonely. And it's funny that came out, and then we also got our Ten of Trees card here that has kind of a fortress-like look to it, like a castle kind of. So, what would it take for you to open up again? Whether it be love or friendship, something else, but, allow it to find you, even if it feels shaky or risky. It says risky, but I said shaky for some reason. And then this, comparison trap and fear of failure, these all are speaking on insecurities here too. So you're maybe measuring yourself or trying to measure yourself against other people to compare yourself. But you don't want to do that and shrink down. So again, who do you become? Who are you when you're not trying to compete, when you're not trying to be liked? Okay, so that's why we're getting the comparison, the performer, self-delusion. This all goes together, okay? So you need to start telling yourself, I'm incomparable, unstoppable, I'm divinely designed, You don't need to compare yourself to other people. And the fear of failure, you might freeze up or overthink things. Maybe you're procrastinating and you're letting this get in your way of really getting things done that you want to get done, because if you do fail, that confirms your fear.
right? And your biggest fear is not being successful.
Okay. So whose expectations are you trying to live up to? So you need to tell yourself, I'm allowed to try, fall, rise, and succeed on my own terms. Great messages. Thank you, Spirit. Virgo, I'm sending you light, love, and healing, and I hope this helped.